So hello, today we will start your lecture number 8 on your course on heat and mass transfer. So in the earlier classes we have discussed about fins and different types of fins, different conditions. And in this class, so today we will start about the unsteady state heat conduction. The unsteady state heat conduction or the transient heat conduction, this is there in the syllabus. So let us start today's class. So what is this unsteady state of heat conduction? So suppose there is a metal ball, suppose there is a copper metal ball, it is at a very high temperature. Suppose this is a copper metal ball, and it is heated to a very high temperature, and after heating at a very high temperature, then suddenly we put this ball suppose in a water, in a normal room temperature water. So we quench this ball, this heated ball, by keeping it in a water at a low temperature. So this suppose this interior of the ball is at a very high temperature, say suppose at 100 degrees centigrade. And the water surrounding this ball, suppose it is at a temperature of say 20 degrees centigrade. Now initially when you take this ball is at an uniform temperature. So all portions of this ball, the spherical ball, is at a same temperature of suppose at 100 degrees centigrade. So this point is at 100 degrees centigrade, this point is also at 100 degrees centigrade, this point is also at 100 degrees centigrade, and this point is also at 100 degrees centigrade. So there is uniform temperature over this ball. So now after 10 seconds, this temperature will not remain constant. So suppose this point is at 100 degrees centigrade, but after say 10 seconds, this temperature will be at, suppose after 10 seconds it will be at 90 degrees centigrade. Because it is surrounded by the water which is at 20 degrees centigrade. And this when this point is at 90 degrees centigrade, so this point will be at suppose at 95 degrees centigrade, and this point is suppose at 100 degrees centigrade after 20 seconds. So suppose after another 20 seconds, this temperature which is at this point which is at 90 degrees centigrade after 20 seconds, after 40 seconds, suppose it will become at 80 degrees centigrade. So it will decrease, the temperature will decrease with time, and suppose this point which was at 95 degrees centigrade after 20 seconds, it will be at suppose at 90 degrees centigrade after 40 seconds. Suppose after 60 seconds, this temperature, this point which was at 90 degrees centigrade will become at suppose at 70 degrees centigrade after another 20 seconds, suppose after 60 seconds, and this temperature, this intermediate point, it will be at suppose 80 degrees centigrade. So this temperature is decreasing with time, till it reaches the ambient temperature which is at 20 degrees centigrade. So it is decreasing with time. So you can also see over here that within a body the different points are having different temperatures. This one is having 100, this point is having 95, this point is having 90, and this point is having suppose 80 after 20 seconds. Okay, so within the body, the temperature of the body is a function of position, because the temperature is not same at all the positions. So now you can write that temperature is a function of position. So temperature is a function of position. Okay. So at a particular instant, the temperature, suppose after t is equal to 20 seconds. Okay, the temperature is a function of position at a particular instant. Say after t is equal to 20 seconds over here. T is equal to 20 seconds. Or suppose t is equal to 40 seconds. The temperature is constant at a particular time instance, and it is a function of position, because at a particular instant, at different positions, it is having different temperatures. Okay. Now we are discussing about at a particular instant. Now suppose if we fix a particular position, suppose this position. Now let us name this position as suppose A, B, C and D. Okay, suppose at this position C, suppose at a particular position. Now this at a particular position, you can see that this point initially it was at uniform temperature 100 degrees centigrade, then after 20 seconds it becomes 90 degrees centigrade, after 40 seconds it becomes 80 degrees centigrade, after 60 seconds suppose it becomes 70 degrees centigrade, and after 20 seconds it will further reduce. Okay, so if we fix a particular position, the temperature is decreasing with time. Okay, at a particular position. Earlier we were talking at a particular instant. So the temperature at a particular position is also a function of time. So temperature is not only a function of position but also time. Okay, so you have understood this concept. So you can see this temperature is varying, okay, with time. So this temperature will again become uniform after a long time. Okay, when it will reach a particular temperature, suppose between 100 degree and 20 degrees centigrade, the temperature will be between 100 and 20 degrees centigrade. After a very long period of time, the whole this system will be at an uniform temperature. Okay, but in the middle you will see there is the variation of temperature with respect to time and with respect to that position. Okay, I hope you have understood this concept. So when heat flows through a body, the temperature is not only a function of position, but it is also a function of time. And whenever a quantity, whatever may be the quantity, if it is a function of time, then we call that quantity is in an unsteady state. But generally what we consider is that the temperature is in a steady state, that is, it is not a function of time. Okay, while solving problems. So I hope you have understood this basic concept of this unsteady state of heat conduction. When the temperature, it is not only a function of position but also a function of time. So now see over here, this is the Fourier's heat equation, heat conduction equation. Because the heat flow is equal to minus Ka into dt by dn into n cap. Okay, you have already know that Fourier's equation, heat conduction equation. So you can also write this heat conduction equation in this way: K into d square T by dx square plus d square t by dy square plus d square t by dz square plus qg dot jc into dt by, this is t with respect to time. Okay, so you can also write this heat conduction equation in this way. So see this equation, you learn this equation. Okay, this is a important equation. So now you must understand this equation. Okay, for that consider this medium. This is the medium. Now one side of this medium is at a high temperature. This is the TH at high temperature, and the other side of the medium is at low temperature. Okay, T low. So now as there is a difference in temperature between the two sides of the medium, now heat will flow through this medium. Okay, from higher temperature to the lower temperature, you know. Now there can be this heat will flow, may flow through conduction, convection or radiation. Okay, but here we will only consider that the heat will flow through conduction and not through convection or radiation. Okay, because why? Because this medium, suppose this medium is a static medium, it is at rest. So the particles, they cannot flow. The particles cannot flow. Therefore, the heat conduction, the convection of heat cannot take place in this medium. Okay, because it is static. And also we'll consider this medium is opaque in nature. As it is opaque, so it does not transmit any thermal radiation through it. Okay, so heat transfer cannot take place through radiation also. Okay, so heat is only flowing through conduction. Okay, now if we consider a point, suppose over here. Okay, now heat is flowing through this point through conduction. Okay, so for this point we will write this equation, as you can see. Now at this point this heat is flowing. Okay, now suppose heat enters through, now this point represents a mass on this medium. Okay, now this suppose when the heat is flowing, suppose 10 units of heat is coming to this point through conduction. Okay, and suppose this heat is flowing, now suppose 8 units of heat is again transmitted through this body. This flowing out from this point through conduction. Now 10 units of energy, heat energy is entering and 8 units is moving out. So you can see that some amount of energy is being accumulated on this small mass. Okay, so there is an accumulation of heat or energy in this point. Okay, now this portion of this equation you can see over here, k into d square by t by dx square plus d square t by dy square plus d square t by dz square. Okay, so this expression, this part of the expression, it represents the energy which is accumulated at this point through heat conduction. Okay, so this part of the equation, remember it. And this part, you can see that's qg dot. This is the internal heat generation. this is the internal heat generation. Due to various processes, due to various other processes like chemical reactions or any other processes, this heat is generated. This is the internal heat generation. So this is equal to Jc into dou T temperature by dt, dou small t time. So this is the rate of change of energy at that point. So this is the rate of change of energy at the point. At a particular point. Okay, you remember this equation? So this equation is a partial differential equation. Okay, so there are partial derivatives. Okay, so in this equation we have derivatives of temperature. Okay, so there is derivatives of temperature with respect to space and with respect to time. You can see these are the derivatives with respect to space. Okay, xyz with respect to xyz, and this is the derivative of temperature with respect to time. Okay, now these derivatives you can see with respect to space, we call this as gradients. Okay, derivatives of temperature with respect to space, and this is derivatives with respect to time. This one is known as temperature. Okay, so from this equation you can find out the temperature with respect to position and with respect to time. If we solve this equation, okay, we will be able to get this information. Now for solving this type of equation, okay, you can see this is the double derivative. Okay, this is the double derivative. Also there are three double derivatives. Okay, so for solving this to solve this double derivative, we will get two constants. Okay, two constants of integration for solving this double derivative. We will get t as a function of x. Okay, now for solving this double derivative, we will get two constants. We need two constants, so there will be two boundary conditions for this double derivative. Similarly, also for these double derivatives, we will get two constants each. So actually we need the total of 2 plus 2 plus 2, 6 constants. So there will be 6 boundary conditions, and for this dou t by dou small t time, we will need one boundary conditions. So total of 7 boundary conditions are required for solving this type of equation. Okay, so you can see that this is very difficult to solve this type of equations which require 7 boundary conditions. So therefore we need to make assumptions for solving this equation. So the assumptions are, the first assumption is that temperature in the body is only one dimensional. Okay, so heat will flow in one direction only, suppose in x direction only. So heat will flow in only one direction only. So we'll get this one as 0 and this one also has 0. Okay, because that with this the solving of equation will be very difficult. So we'll consider that heat will flow only in one dimension along in x direction. Okay, so also we'll consider that there is no internal heat generation. We'll consider that there will be no internal heat generation. So this equation will become like this. Is equal to rho C temperature by Tt. Okay, so this equation is reduced to this. So this equation becomes simple. Okay, and if we can solve this equation, we will get the temperature as a function of this x and time. Okay, so this is the equation for one dimensional unsteady state heat conduction. Okay, so this equation is being used for practical purposes. So we discuss till here. We will continue with our discussion in the next class. In the next classes, okay, where I will discuss about that lumped state heat transfer and Biot's number and all such things. Okay, so let us close the discussion for today over here. Okay, so thank you.